Hey,
I've heard that.
before we start,
Yes.
if all of a sudden I am disconnected, I apologize because I dropped my phone.
Oh, so that's why we didn't see you for a minute, huh? Or hear you.
Yeah.
All right, we're good.
Okay, you're coming in loud and clear though, Manny. So
Yeah,
I'm glad to
perfect.
hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the heads up. Deborah, take it away.
Okay. Proverbs chapter 12. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid. 2. Good people obtain favor from the Lord, but he condemns those who devise wicked schemes. 3. No one can be established through wickedness, but the righteous cannot be uprooted. 4. A wife of noble character is her husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones. 5. The plans of a righteous are just, but the advice of the wicked is deceitful. Number 6. The words of the wicked lie in the wait for blood, but the speech of the upright rescues them. 7. The wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous stands firm. Number 8. A person is praised according to their prudence, and one with a warped mind is despised. Number 9. Better to be a nobody and yet have a servant than pretend to be somebody and have no food.
Okay, NIV translation. 10. The righteous care for the needs of their animals, but the kindness acts of the wicked are cruel. Those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense. The wicked desire the stronghold of evildoers, but the root of the righteous endures. Evildoers are trapped by their sinful talk, and so the innocent escape trouble. From the fruit of their lips, people are filled with good things, and the work of their hands bring them reward. The way of fools seem right to them, but the wise listen to advice. Fools show their annoyance at once, but the prudent overlook an insult. An honest witness tells the truth, but a false witness tells lies. 18. The words of the reckless pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing.
Okay, so verse 19, Proverbs chapter 12, verse 19. Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment. There is deceit in the hearts of those who plot evil, but joy for those who promote peace. No harm befalls the righteous, but the wicked have their fill of trouble. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in men who are truthful. A prudent man keeps his knowledge to himself, but the heart of fools blurts out folly. Diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in slave labor. An anxious heart weighs a man down, but a kind word cheers him up. A righteous man is cautious in friendship, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. The lazy man does not roast his game, but the diligent man prizes his possessions. In the way of righteousness there is life, along the path is immortality. Proverbs chapter 12, people.
Pastor Bert, what version was that you read from?
It's the old NIV.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
Princess again, which one was that you read from?
Who's that?
Princess. Do you remember?
Oh, the new NIV.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, because the NIV translation went through some iterations,
Okay.
and it's changed when you compare the latest iteration.
Okay, I'll have to update the
to the
Bible
old
I
one.
have online. You
To
know,
me, I like the old one better, but you got to
Uh-huh.
get used to the changes that takes place.
Yeah, that helps. And Deborah, what version did you read from?
Oh, mine's is the NIV too.
Yours is too. Wow,
Yeah.
they all sounded so different.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah. So the different iterations, these things go through translations. That's why we don't get stuck on one translation, because we're dealing with translating it from the Greek to the English, from the Hebrew,
Right.
and so I think there needs to be some flexibility in translation, and at the same
Sure.
time, because they demonstrate it, and at the same time, the message is the one that we're focused on. What's the message? Not necessarily too caught up in the wordings based on translations, but what's the real message?
Mm-hmm.
Find out. So what's the verses that jumped out at you as we read these 28 verses?
Got one, Pastor Bert.
John, you're in line. He's first in line. Go ahead, John.
Okay, so this would be verse 4. This is it says wealth attracts many friends,
Hold
but
on.
even the
Hold on. Verse 4,
yeah
12:4.
Really?
yeah oh, you know what, I'm in 19. I am so sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say
You guys all have to excuse me.
Our
I gotta go
translation.
back over here
Oh,
now.
were you in 19?
Yeah,
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Dumb
yeah, I know.
boy.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
It's all right, John.
It happens.
It'll get better.
Yes, it will. Yeah. So go ahead. What did you have anything that jumped out at you?
No.
I'll have to glance at it now, probably, right?
Okay. Well, while you're looking, let's look at another verse.
I just 3 stands out to me. I like it. That's
Okay. 12:3.
yeah.
A man cannot be established through wickedness, but the righteous cannot be uprooted.
Yeah.
So as you remember, what's the context? And
a father to a son.
Yeah, very good. And what's the general theme of Proverbs?
Wisdom.
Yeah.
That was good. And yeah, the wisdom, the way you can look at the world, look at from God's point of view. These are generalizations, right? Principles that, are the way of the world. So, have the wisdom to understand its function, the way the world works. And so when it says a man cannot be established through wickedness, I think in general, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to live your life here on earth that God created, God designed certain things to work out and some things to fail. Here's one of the principles you need to keep in mind, that when you live a life of wickedness, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to build your life on that.
Absolutely.
And that's a general principle. This is probably one of the best things you can teach children, elementary, middle school, high school, and just really get that foundation that, you want to live a life that is not based on just living a wicked life. When I was living a wicked life, my attitude is, I don't care what people say, I'll do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like, I'll do whatever I want,
Mm-hmm.
If it feels good, just do it. Whether it's drugs, whether it's pleasure,
right.
Music, and then you take that to the level of business. I'll get money any way I want. I don't care if it's breaking the rules. See, those type of wicked things, is not going to be a life that you can build on.
Right.
In fact, if you continue that way, you'll end up in jail. Now, what kind of life do you have now that you're, living in jail? So the general principle of life here on earth, and then this almost thinks along the lines of, I don't care what your spiritual life condition might be, right? Because we're talking on a worldly level of wisdom. just do the right thing. If you make it a practice to do the right thing to people, love your neighbor as you love yourself, do to others as you would have others do to you. When you practice these general, golden rules, you'll be able to have a good life. Now, the opposite, right? The righteous cannot be uprooted. So when you practice living a righteous life, always doing what's right, yeah, you'll have some trials and troubles along the way, but generally speaking, no one can tear you down. No one can uproot you and tear you down.
Right.
You'll have a better chance of having a good life for the long term. No one can uproot you. No one can tear you down. They could hurt you maybe, but they can't tear you all completely down. So just general way of living. I hear about athletes making millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But because their lifestyle is wicked, they use their money for their own pleasure. They use their money for doing whatever they feel like doing, get away with murder, even to the point where it's as simple as, they go to a club, they're getting drunk, they're getting sloppy drunk, but they have so much money, they go into their expensive car and drive intoxicated. And what happens? They might kill somebody, they might even kill themselves, cause a lot of harm and damage. And all they had to do, if they just thought about what's the right thing to do, I'm drunk, I'm intoxicated, the right thing to do, call an Uber, call a cab, and you'll be fine. It's those type of life choices. Wicked, a wicked man will say, I'll go ahead and drive. I don't care if I'm drunk. No, the righteous one will say, no, don't drive. It's not a good idea. And call a cab.
Right.
See, so it's those general choices that you make. And as you keep thinking about, well, what's the right thing to do? Forget about what I want to do. What is the right thing to do in this scenario? You'll have a better chance of establishing a good life for yourself. And that's the general rule. Don't live a wicked lifestyle. Yeah, but they're doing so well. Look how successful they are.
Look how much money they have.
Yeah, but one of these days it's going to catch up with them, and that's unfortunate. So
that would be like Tiger Woods. I mean, he really blew it. He had everything going for him, and yeah, it's just terrible. Those things do happen.
Oh yeah, that's the rule, right? I mean,
yeah,
you know about his womanizing ways. He couldn't stay faithful to his marriage, to his wife, and so it destroyed him.
Yeah,
and then now he's dealing with a lot of drug addiction because of the pain he's living under. So there's so many. It gets complicated, but
yeah,
you really want to say, okay, what's the right thing I can do with my situation that I'm in,
mm-hmm.
And I don't condemn Tiger Woods. I mean, he did wrong. Everybody does wrong. But if it's a weakness in his life, it's a weakness, and he has to pay the consequences. I've heard of many men who are married and have no trouble sleeping around with other women. So,
Yeah, but
it's wrong, right?
Yeah,
But
you know what? In the end, it doesn't work out. You know what?
That's correct. No
It's never a happy ending.
Yeah, and that's why you don't get to establish your life if you're that way.
Yeah.
So welcome, Kwame. We're in Proverbs chapter 12.
That's mostly done in our country, Pastor, especially politician. They always have this, they call it querida.
Okay,
The
Carita.
other girl. The
Like
other
they
woman.
have a mistress on the side.
Yeah.
I mean, with athletes, it's called a side chick.
Yeah.
I hear about what happens with athletes. They're really famous, and there's these women who goes to these games, wanting to sleep with these athletes, and the athletes, are used in that sense. the athletes don't say no. So these women, who wants to sleep with these athletes are using them. And it's ugly, the way of the world.
Yeah.
Just when a guy thinks, oh, it's great, I get to sleep with these beautiful women. No, don't you realize they're using you? You're just a sex boy to them.
Yeah. Try after the money mostly.
And after the money, combine that with all the luxury
Exactly.
Yeah.
can be offered. So, way of the world and the
Let's
way of
go
the Lord.
to
The
let's
way
go
of
to verse
foolishness or the way of wisdom.
What, Manny?
let's go to verse 5.
Okay.
5.
All right.
Okay.
Participation.
Nice.
The plans of the righteous are just, but the advice of the wicked is deceitful.
Yeah.
Another good one. Yeah.
Yeah, this again reinforces what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
But it talks about future plans. When you plan for the future, right? And the scripture says, to man belong the plans of the heart. So you actually have the freedom to plan for the future, plan for things you want to do, concerning your future. And that's appropriate. God designed us that way. But the question now is, what kind of plans and advice are you going to take? Is it going to be towards what is right? Or is it going to be towards what is wicked? And so, when you're processing your plans, it's good to think along the lines is, are these plans good? Are they godly? Are they good? Are they in line with the things of righteousness? Just doing practical righteous acts. But there's also another voice that comes to your mind, which is the advice of the wicked.
Oh my God.
So when wicked people give you advice, it's going to be expressed in the acts of the sinful nature, sexual immorality, impurity, debauchery, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, discord, jealousy, fits of rage, selfish ambition, dissent, factions, and envy and drunkenness.
Wow.
Destruction.
See, those are the acts of the sinful nature. Hey, what are you planning this weekend? Man, we're going to go get drunk. We're going to party hard. And we're just going to, live for the pleasures of life. That's what we're planning for this weekend. Do you see that? Well, don't you know those things are not as good as you think they are?
Yeah.
What? I can sleep with as many women as I want.
No, thank you.
Yeah, because
That's
by
good,
doing
Manny.
that, the next day you realize, hey, I got some health symptoms that I'm dealing with.
Herpes.
It's called herpes, STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. And in
Yes.
fact, I was just having a good time with all these women. Or if you're, the bisexual or homosexual. I was watching the story of what's his name? The guy in Queen, Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, he lived a lifestyle. It wasn't focused, but they did touch on the fact that he did acknowledge he was married. He acknowledged he's bisexual to his wife, and then he started having an affair with a guy and started pursuing the homosexual lifestyle.
And too bad.
With all that pursuit and pleasure and money and doing everything, and he had musical genius.
Yes.
One day he said, "I'm dying of AIDS," basically.
Wow.
Yeah. And
what do you
sorry.
he had all these beautiful plans of how he was going to live his life because he had all the money and can experience all the pleasures of going into these clubs, and yet all this time it was going to catch up with him.
There you go.
and now he died of AIDS.
Yeah, and he didn't seem to really enjoy it either. That was the other thing. It wasn't really taking him where he wanted to go, but he did it anyway. He thought it was part of the gig of being famous and having the money, and thought he should do that anyway,
Yeah, and those
you
become
know,
your plans. So you
and
can plan
manipulated
those
by
things,
others.
and
Yeah,
that's why it says the advice, in context of
of the
making
wicked.
plans.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
advice of the wicked is deceitful because it
Exactly.
looks like it's going to be fun. It looks like it's going to be the
Poor
best
guy.
for
Yeah.
you, only to realize it's deceitful because the
Hmm.
long term is that it can, uh, you know,
Consume you.
it can definitely kill you. Disease. You can
Right.
die from catching a disease, and once that happens to you, you're in a different. You're in a different phase of life now.
And especially AIDS. It seemed
Sure.
a lot of sexually transmitted diseases, people didn't even care. They just, oh, get this and just treat it, take some antibiotics and back again. It,
Sure.
people just didn't care. But when AIDS, it was a different story. It was a different story.
Yeah. So
Somewhat for some people, but some didn't care about that either, it seemed,
yeah.
went on with the same lifestyle.
Yeah. So that's why, the plans, the advice you get,
Yeah, you're right.
test it to see if it's in the right direction, which is towards righteousness, or is it in the wrong direction, which is towards the things of the sinful nature that you don't want to promote and cultivate. You want to we do put to death these things, the misdeeds of the sinful nature. Princess, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to add, Pastor Bert, if you listen to evil thoughts or if you're doing evil, it may appear successful for a while, but very sure it will not last.
It'll catch up with you, right?
Sure. Like if I was able to do some robberies at people's homes, right? And you know
Yeah.
how robberies are being done, what is it? Break in, they steal things from your house, or even, stores. Uh,
Smash and grab.
Yeah, I
yeah.
watched this. I
And you
watched
might
this
feel good
employee.
that, look, I got all this money,
Yes.
and I was able to get $10,000 worth of merchandise, and it only took me a few minutes. You know how long I have to work in order to get $10,000 in my bank account? You know, it could take months. And yet, what are you going to do? Keep working hard to try to earn enough money to save 10,000, or you can get it all in a few seconds, a few minutes. So tempting.
Not worth it. Right.
And
Exactly.
then
Yeah,
you
it's
realize those plans, they one is towards righteousness, do it what's right. At least you're not going to hurt anybody, you know,
yeah.
or hurt people, and you're going to get whatever you want. And your attitude could be, I don't care how they think, I don't care who I'm hurting, as long as I get what I want.
Yeah, and also if you're living a righteous life, it is stable and it will last. It has a lasting foundation.
Yeah, so living a righteous life will always focus on doing righteous things.
Yes.
And living a wicked life says, I don't care. I'll just do what I want. I don't care if anybody gets hurt. You know, I'll do what I want. I don't care if I steal their car, right? At least I'll get a car.
Oh
You know,
God.
things like that. So it's the attitude, the way you look at life. So whether you're going to pursue righteous things, plan for righteous things, or are you going to plan for wicked things and listen to the advice of wicked people? Hey, let's do this. I still remember being told, let's go steal some purses from old ladies while they're getting out of the bank, while they're taking money out of their ATM. Back then there was an ATM.
It
But
happened here in Costco, right in the entrance of Costco. An old woman was trying to put her groceries, and just there's one guy just, you know, what do you call this? Hurt her, and they tried to get the keys and the bag to get the car, but he only got the bag.
Yeah, so sad.
Sad.
And hopefully he was caught and now he's in jail.
I hope. I
Yeah.
pray.
And that's a continuous choice, a continuous way of planning. You know, one of the most creative people, you know, are thieves or people who like to steal or you know, they're very creative, and it's referred to in scriptures as they invent ways of doing evil. They're great inventors of doing evil. You don't want to be inventors of doing evil, right?
Very
No.
clever.
That's a interesting phrase. They invent ways,
Yes, it is.
because it's like, oh, it could be, you know, like the 10 commandments that you break. I want to sleep with this woman. Well, the way I'm going to sleep with her is first I'll befriend her husband.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Then
Yeah.
once the husband, you know, is a good friend to me, then I can get closer to his wife. You see how evil planning can just so destructive.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, guys. Tough love. But I think, doesn't it interesting, the themes that we're touching on just makes it very clear for all of us.
Yeah.
You know, just make it clear to yourself and to all of us. Don't even dabble with wicked things. Just stay on the right path. Just keep focused
Right.
on doing what's right. And it'll always be better off for you in the long term. And let's see, who else? We got maybe a couple more verses.
I have 10, Pastor.
Okay, let's look at verse 10, chapter 12, because today is May 12th. 12:10. Oh boy. A righteous man cares for the needs of his animals. There you go, you animal lovers.
Yeah.
But the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel.
Oh boy.
So think about the fact that, you know, how you treat animals is also a reflection of what kind of person you are. Isn't that interesting?
Mhm. Yes.
The way you care for animals. Now, you don't have to be a pet lover. There are some pet lovers, you know, I know. I mean, they really love their pets. They even think that they're more important than human beings. And yeah, there are some like that. And we're just talking about, you know, even a righteous person will care for animals. You don't want to go overboard. You know, there are some who go overboard, and you shouldn't even kill any animals. You know, we should all be vegetarian, right? You don't.
Yeah, there are some people, Pastor, they will raise this dog, and then I forgot the kind of dog that they raise them and let them fight,
Oh yeah.
and they
Sure.
are
Right.
bidding for some money.
Yeah, that's dog fighting in the
Yeah.
Philippines, in some countries. Uh, yeah, dog fighting is a sport to them, just like
Pit bull.
cockfighting.
Yeah, those are pit bulls.
Yeah, yeah, pit
Pit
bulls.
bulls, yeah.
Oh
So they
God.
were raised to fight and entertain people who want to watch it and bet.
Yeah, a
So
lot of betting. Mhm.
so you know, this gives you a wake up call on whether you should continue to do that. If you
I
know,
feel sorry for the
there are
dog.
some people who are into dog fighting. You know,
Oh
they love watching it. They love the blood. They love all that viciousness.
my goodness.
But you know, it's nothing different from the Romans when they were killing Christians in the
Right.
right in the Colosseum,
Right.
feeding them to animals and stuff,
Or
lions.
the lion. Yeah.
See, so it just goes to show you how wicked man can be. And so when you think about how you treat animals, in general, it's a good mindset to be able to care for animals. Uh, you know, you can neglect animals, you can torture animals, you can do terrible things to animals. And so it's interesting how this verse talks about your relationship with animals and how a righteous man would care
Yeah.
for the needs of his animals. He would care.
You know, Pastor Bert, I knew this kid, a friend of mine. We were younger. This guy actually, we were down by the railroad tracks trying to find pollywogs and frogs, right? This is out in San Francisco area. And this guy got a cat and he tied it over the railroad tracks and waited for the train to come. I mean, that's a weird person for you. Very wicked
Yeah, that's an
and terrible.
Too
indication,
much.
right?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
wicked person. Not that's if you want to state the obvious, that's not a righteous person.
No.
In fact, I would hear of former gang members or former killers. That's serial killers. That's how they start.
Yep.
They start with torturing animals and killing them,
Oh,
and then they move on to killing people.
Oh my God.
So that's how terrible it can be.
Yeah.
And so this is a good heads up, be mindful of how you treat animals. And if you have friends that treat animals in a terrible way, it's probably a good idea to stay away from people like that. You probably don't want to be friends with people like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can torture so many animals and pets because they're so inferior to you, right? You can take a cat by the tail and swing them around.
Right.
You can take I've heard stories of taking a cat out of anger and then throwing them against the wall. We're wicked people on how we treat inferior animals.
So terrible.
That just goes to show you how we need to be mindful of things like that in regard to animals. And
They're
then it's
helpless.
the acts of the wicked are cruel.
Yeah.
So even
Samson
their
that
kindness
lit
act.
the tails of those foxes. That was cruel.
When
He was
Samson
supposed to-
did that,
Yeah, he was supposed to be a man of God.
Who is this now?
Cruel. That was cruel.
What did he do?
He set the tails of 300 foxes into the people, to the enemies.
wow, Daphne, is that really 300?
I think so.
Oh, okay. It was a lot though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's look, he tied their tails together and then he lit their tail on fire.
And set them through the people's their farmland,
crops,
whatever they were
yeah.
growing. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
What's
long?
the
So
idea of that? To
it
destroy
was
farmland?
like he wanted to
They were the
destroy the
enemies.
Philistines' farms and so
Heaven.
forth.
Yes.
And
And
they
it was out of
probably
revenge.
run into the pastures and catch on fire. Oh my heaven.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cruel.
Do
That
it.
was cruel.
So that's definitely, an act of cruelty. There's a lot of acts of cruelty in the book of Judges. That's minor compared to other stories in the book of Judges, guys. If that interests you in reading about it or hearing the story of Judges.
Wow.
I think it's time to read that because that keeps coming up lately for some
The
reason.
book of Judges? Well,
Yeah.
the last time I read it was, remember, the left-handed dude who killed the king with his left hand? Buried his sword in his stomach.
Oh gosh, I don't even remember that.
Buried it
Or did
so
I
deep
block
he
it out?
couldn't even get the sword out. He didn't want to anymore.
Man, I got to read it.
And that was his, this is war. This is, you're fighting enemies and it's ugly. It's never pretty. Okay. One more proverb verse. And then
16?
we can wrap it up.
We do
Verse
16.
16.
Okay. A request for 16. A fool shows his annoyance at once, but a prudent man overlooks an insult.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So we're dealing with being insulted. That's one. I mean, there's a lot to sort through here, unpack here. When you're insulted, it says, if you are a kind of person who shows that you're annoyed at once by an insult, let's just say, if somebody insults you, how would you talk, or what kind of attitude would you have when it was before Christ?
I would get annoyed really fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so before Christ,
Yeah.
you would get annoyed by the fact this person insulted you. Would you start trying to pay them back for the way they insult you,
Yeah,
insult
Oh,
them
yeah.
back?
I would bounce back. Yes, I would
Okay,
immediately.
so you would insult them back. Would you want to harm them or hurt them?
Nah.
Maybe not physically, but in other ways, you know.
Okay.
I mean,
You'll find other ways to hurt
yeah.
them or insult them because you're so annoyed with their
Mentally.
insults. You're
Yep.
so offended by their insult. And so um, that kind of person is something that you should avoid, right?
Mhm.
You should not be that kind of person. Don't be that person who gets easily annoyed by someone's insult.
Right.
Or else, what does it say about you? If you
It's
get easily annoyed by someone's insult, what does it say about you?
you're a fool.
You're a damn fool. Might as well, say it directly,
Yep.
right? You're a
Yep.
fool.
Fish-eyed fool.
Here's a story that I came across. A man, okay, and you could probably find tons of them on YouTube because everything's on YouTube these days. He plays his radio loud in a train, a public, transit. He's playing it loud. And then a guy across from him asks him, "Can you lower your volume?" That simple request to lower the volume of your radio, it set that guy off. Ooh, what are you doing telling me? Who do you think you are? You're wearing earphones and you're telling me to lower my volume? And then starts one insult after another insult after another insult. Now, knowing what we know about verses, what does that tell you about the guy who's doing all this?
He's a fool.
He's a fool. That guy who was just, asking him, that, he basically stood up and he just walked away.
Yeah, I think that's the better way to
That,
do it.
that's the wise way to do it.
Yeah. Because nowadays people kill each other over dumb stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See? And it could have escalated, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he was twice as big as the guy. It's probably vice versa, but let's say he was twice as big as the other guy. And let's say he knew some martial arts. He knows how to fight, street fight. He let's say it escalated and says, he starts attacking him for insulting him that way. See how ugly it can get? And
Yeah.
now what does it tell you about that guy who stood up and fought back because he was insulted?
He's a fool too.
He's a fool too. So you got two fools fighting each other.
Falling in love with.
And one of you guys have to be the wise one, the smart one. Even though I can beat you up, even though I have skills, I'm just going to walk away. In fact, that happened to one professional boxer who was being insulted. He was being yelled at face to face by this other guy in like a sporting event, maybe like a soccer game or something. And that guy who's known to be a fighter, the guy who was yelling him and had no idea, right?
Wait, what? Right.
So, the boxer was not going to engage him in a fight, even though he knew he could beat him up.
Right.
Right? All he had to do is give him one good punch, and he was probably going to be knocked out. But his friend was there kind of just saying, "Come on, let's go." And he just backed off and walked away. See?
Yeah, that's the perfect way to go about that.
That's the wise thing to do. It might have made him look bad. Like, look at him, he's a wimp.
But so what?
And yet we don't know the background of some people. And that guy was lucky he didn't get into a big fight. He didn't touch him. He was yelling, but one was definitely more aggressive than the other. So that's why how you deal with people insulting you, it's better to overlook. Yeah.
Overlook, walk away.
Act like you didn't even hear it and just walk away.
Yeah.
Because if you act like you've heard it, you're now opening the door for saying, "Hey, I'm going to let you know that you annoyed me, and I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to let you do that to me. I'm not going to overlook what you just did. So let's, escalate this."
Wow.
to now physical. And you know, when it gets physical, what happens? Two people are getting physical, right?
Let's get physical.
There's somebody
Physical.
I saw an episode where there's one guy, he actually had a knife in his back pocket.
Yeah.
So the guy, you know, who was ready to fight him and wrestle him, he tried to pull him down at his waist level. Think about it. Could you imagine? He's trying to tackle him at his waist level. The other guy has a knife in his back pocket. He pulls
Oh
out
man.
his knife and does an
Punctures
uppercut with the knife towards his heart.
So stupid.
The guy with muscles and a wrestler should have won, but he didn't know the guy had a knife in his back pocket that stabbed him right in the heart.
Wow.
And once he was stabbed in the heart, he couldn't wrestle anymore. He just saw all his blood leaving him
Mm.
because he didn't want to overlook an offense. You know,
Mm.
he thought he could take him because that guy was skinnier. But you don't know. So wisdom tells you, be a peacemaker. The Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers. If you know how to seek peace and pursue peace and don't escalate the violence, you'll do well. There's another verse that says, the wise see trouble and avoid it, but the fool keeps on going and suffers for it.
Yeah.
So if you see trouble happening early, do the best you can to avoid it. Don't be the kind of person who sees trouble, you know, about to develop. Oh man, I'm going to go inside and see what's going on. Let me
Right.
get up close and personal to what's the trouble's going on. No, you're supposed to avoid it. I see trouble happening, I'm out of here. Don't say, oh, I see trouble coming. I'm going to see if I can do something, get involved. No, there could be drive-by shooting that can kill you.
Exactly.
So that's why wisdom always tells you, you know, if you're a person of peace, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. And who cares how people look at you? You know, if you're a peacemaker, know that you're doing it in the name of God and you're on the right track. You know, I want to be a peacemaker in the name of God. I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to be a peacemaker. I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm a man of peace.
Yeah.
So let's try to work things out peacefully. If not, then I'll leave.
Yeah. And you can save your life too, just by doing that.
Save your own life and save the life of the.
Exactly.
So you can bless two people, not just one.
Amen.
All right, everybody. That wraps it up for our Tough Love Tuesday session.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you, Pastor Bert.
Welcome, John. And I hope all of you are just letting these words, these thoughts and ideas, you know, settle in and continue to point you in the right direction with the Lord.
Oh, yes.
So don't be mean to animals.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Right.
You know,
My
it's
does.
easy to
animals are
get
like
deep
my
into
children.
animals
My
because,
dogs are like my children. They are my
Yeah.
company.
oh, yeah,
There you
yeah. So it is what it is, guys. So blessings to you. We keep learning. And who would like to